Mike from MotoIQ here, and today we're going to talk about curing a really common problem for all of you people that own Nissan S chassis. If you have like a 240SX with a Turbo K24 or a SR swapped SR, or if you live in a country where you have an SR in your S chassis, well, if you've built it very much, you've probably run into the fact that the transmission's really weak and can't take much power. Third gear usually breaks pretty easily. Even if your power is in the high 200s, sometimes you can break the transmission, especially if you do things like drift and drag race. Well, our 2.2 liter stroker supermotor that we built and featured in the video is probably going to have around 400 horsepower starting out at a fairly low boost level. So we had to do something about the tranny. Some of the alternatives is we could get a Nissan CD09 or a racing dog box, but those are pretty expensive. The Nissan tranny's kind of heavy, and the ratios aren't particularly good for the SR. I mean, they're okay, but the transmission's bigger and it doesn't fit in the tight S chassis trans tunnel too well. It's kind of a tight fit in there anyway, and we didn't really want to mess around. So basically we were lazy and didn't want to do a trans swap. Fortunately, there's been a lot of new parts developed for the transmission lately. The whole thing about being able to contain more power centers around the SpeedTech Dog Gear Set. Now, SpeedTech is an Australian company. They've just come out with a dog set for the 5-speed Nissan S chassis trans, and it's pretty amazing. And the price isn't too bad either. What I mean by dog set is the gears use dogs that match up to the rings, and they do the job of synchros. So basically when you shift, the shift fork moves this, and it goes, the dogs go in the slot, and boom, your gears are up to speed and they can mesh without clashing. This is the opposite of a synchro mesh that uses brass rings and cones, and it kind of uses friction to get the gears up to meshing speed. The advantages of the dog set is this shifts really quick, and it shifts really positively and instantly, so you're not going to miss gears as easy. They'll just grab and go. The other advantage is the dogs don't take up much space. Synchros take up about maybe that much space, so the gears have to be more narrow. With the dog gear set, since the dogs don't take up that much space, I mean, that's hardly anything, the gears could be made that much wider, so they're stronger and have more power handling capability. These gears in the SpeedTech set are straight cut, so the teeth can be bigger and beefier. That helps their strength. The transmission's going to be kind of noisy and it's going to whine. That's a characteristic of dog boxes, and if you have a racing gearbox or you see in-car video of race cars, the transmission makes that whine. I think it sounds pretty cool. If you're not messing around, I mean, it's just something you have to live with. You know, like a dog set maybe isn't the greatest thing for daily driving and bumper-to-bumper traffic because the shifts are abrupt. And if you do low-speed shifting, the dogs will be probably worn out fairly quickly. But for driving on the track, drifting, or you know, hardcore street driving where you're not going to be daily commuting, the shifting is wonderful on these. You have to experience a dog box to know what I mean. SpeedTech has done some really cool things on the dogs that I haven't seen before. They're kind of rounded in contour, but they're undercut, and they have a bevel going from front to rear. These are all features to help the dogs grab. The rounding will prevent the edges from getting chipped off, which happens in dog sets. Like, it's kind of routine maintenance to have to take them apart and dress the dogs when they start getting rounded on the grinder and put an undercut on them. When they start misshifting. But SpeedTech has done this for you, and the dogs are kind of undercut in two directions, from top to bottom and in the sides. So I've never seen this kind of dog contour. Also, I've never seen this rounding, but I think, this is a new type of dog contour. I think it's going to shift super well and last a long time. I mean, it's kind of like common sense looking at it. SpeedTech has just come out with this, but they've been running test sets in Australia and a bunch of high-powered drift cars and race cars, and they've been running wonderfully. So you're not going to be an experiment. I've seen them, like videos of them running like 500-600 horsepower cars, and no problem. If you go to their website or their social media, like their Instagram, you can see videos of this gear set in action. And I think this is going to be great. It has really beefy shafts and a heavy-duty yoke. I think this is all good. The strength of the shaft is good because on the Nissan, the shafts aren't too well supported, and the force of the gears wants them to spread apart. And, you lose tooth engagement, and that's the thing that leads to braking. The metal is a higher grade, like high nickel and molybdenum steel, kind of like our 4340. It's strong stuff, and our gears came with the optional isotropic polishing. This is a chemical polishing method that you tumble the gears with a ceramic media and a special kind of chemical that kind of etches the surface, and the media kind of brushes it off. This allows you to get a very, very fine surface finish without, abrading the surface away very much. The really smooth finish reduces stress risers and also helps fatigue strength. And the really smooth finish reduces friction. We kind of went a step further. Like we took all the parts of the transmission and we cryo treated them at CTP Cryogenics. Cryo treating is like an extension of the heat treating process, and it helps convert any free austenite that might be floating around the metal to martensite, which is a harder, stronger structure of steel. I mean, I know this all sounds like voodoo magic, and I'm not going to get into the metallurgy, but it is legit metallurgy. And if you want to learn more, Google cryo treating and then Google heat treating too, and you can kind of see how all this stuff works and how it's not a bunch of BS, but it's a legitimate industrial process. After we cryo treated everything, we WPC treated every single moving part in the transmission. So, we have the smooth isotropic finish, and we WPC'd on top of it. WPC treating leaves microscopic dimples, which helps build an oil film between the gear contact faces. It also puts like a compressive layer on the material, which helps prevent fatigue failure cracks from forming. So usually WPC treating can increase the fatigue strength of a part by close to 100%. It also imparts some dry lubricant, a few thousandths into the surface. The dry lubricant constituents are kind of secret, but it's molybdenum, zinc, and some other things. The WPC media itself is microscopic ceramic balls. Well, not microscopic, but they're really small. It looks like talcum powder. And it's shot into the parts at high velocity. So it does the compressive surface tension like shot peening, and also provides a really smooth surface, and it's a great complement to isotropic polishing. So we WPC treated every internal part of the transmission, including the shift shafts and all that. So everything should be really slick and smooth shifting. SpeedTech transmission also comes with billet shift forks. The stock forks are aluminum, and you can break those kind of easily, and they wear out quick. The billet forks are thinner, so the hub can be thinner, and there's more room for gear. That's pretty cool. So stronger material, thinner, leaves more room for more gear surface. I think this gear set will be a game changer for the S chassis transmission. It's very complete. It has input shaft, main shaft, counter shaft, yoke, all the gears, all the sliders, the shift forks. Everything is top quality, heavy duty. I can't wait to get this in here. It's going to be like the shift quality and the strength of a racing transmission at a fraction of the cost. SpeedTech is also working on a universal 6-speed sequential box that can hold, I think it's going to hold 1,000 horsepower. That's going to be on the market soon, and I think that box will be a game changer. It'll probably be half the price of a lot of these other racing boxes with all the strength and quality. I mean, I'm really impressed with the machining quality and all that of this gear set. I've seen higher priced gear sets that aren't machined as well. I mean, I can't wait to get this in there. We did a couple other things. The transmission case is weak and flexes under a lot of torque load. So the first thing we did is, this thing was all crusty and gross looking, so we went to our friends in Montoon and gave everything a vapor hone job to clean it up. Then it went to CTP Cryogenics. CTP has a new cryoprocessing that's secret, and it's space stuff, and I don't know the specifics of it, but it really strengthens aluminum, makes it stiffer, and increases the tensile strength. This is kind of stuff that's beyond your typical cryogenic treatment. I think it's a multi-step cryogenic process. I know it takes a long time. It took a long time to get these parts back, but it's secret. It's their proprietary process, and I told them I don't want to know what you're doing. All I care about is it works. And supposedly they've had really good luck with it. I've been doing it on like our aluminum blocks lately. This is the first time I tried it with a transmission, and I'm pretty excited to see what kind of results we have. It's going to be hard to exactly measure the results, but if this transmission doesn't explode right away with 400 horsepower, I'd say a lot of the success is the gear set, and maybe some of it's due to what we did to the cases. After cryogenic treating, we WPC treated the cases. This provides some of the benefits of shot peening, adds compressive stress, adds a little bit of stiffness to the case. Izumi at WPC said he's tried it on some rally cars and seen positive results. More rigid case helps prevent the gear spread and all that, and he's done it on some high-end rally cars, and they've reported a longer time in between failures due to the cases being stiffer. I don't know if it's going to positively help with this, but hey, it can't hurt, and it's part of my great experiment here. We also did the the nose where the input shaft goes. Cryoed it, WPC treated it so the throttle bearing will slide smoothly, and WPC'd the clutch fork pivot. Maybe it's a little thing, I don't know. I figured while everything was there, might as well throw this in. On top of the tranny is the SpeedTech billet shifter. This thing is really solid, no play, no rubber, no play at all. So this thing is a quick shifter. It's kind of tall, so it's kind of like rally style, not one of those little short ricer deals, but a legit shifter. shorter throw, precise gates. I mean, this thing has no play at all. So this shifter should go really well with their dog set. For the clutch, what I wanted to do is make a super low inertia clutch that could hold up to 400 horsepower, but I also wanted it to be less shocking on the transmission. So I didn't want to get like a solid metal puck deal that with a solid hub that would totally put a lot of shock force on the tranny. But dog boxes work best with like quick disengagement and quick engagement. This gives the dogs time to grab. And so I didn't want something with a sprung hub or a Marshall, because like a Marshall spring is the cushy spring underneath the friction material that kind of lets the clutch ease into engagement. That kind of stuff sometimes causes dog boxes to hang up. So I needed a legit race clutch. So I contacted Competition Clutch, and they came out with this semi-metallic organic material, which has a smooth engagement property, but it could still hold the power. And it's full face, as you see here, not puck. It's a 7¼ inch in diameter, so it has super low inertia, and the pressure plate is aluminum. I mean, this thing is probably like a third of the weight of a traditional clutch. I didn't weigh it. I probably should, but I mean, you pick it up, man. It's light. It's a twin disc with a floater. It's going to have that'll give it a sufficient clamp area to be able to hold our power, and hopefully I'll take some of the shock off the transmission. But this thing is going to rev really great, and it'll be easy to blip and get the dogs to engage on downshifting and all that. The final thing is a billet steel flywheel from Competition Clutch. It's over there in our super engine. It's like a little 6-pound deal, super light, low inertia. Dog boxes like lightweight clutches and low inertia and crisp engagement and disengagement. So it should all be super cool. So if you want to get your piece of crap Nissan transmission and convert it to a legit 600 horsepower capable dog box, here's all the parts. I can't wait to get this together and get it in our S13 race car project. The chassis of the car is out. The fabricator's getting some work done. Then it's going to go body and paint. And then it's going to come here for assembly. And then we'll be showing you guys how that is. So you've already seen the videos on the suspension, the engine. Now it's the drivetrain. Next, you're going to be seeing the whole car come together. So if you like this content and you want more, go to MotoIQ.com. There's a lot of tech articles on there, like 15 years worth of them. If you want us to do some consulting or work on your car, go to MotoIQ.com and go to our garage services link and fill out one of those forms, and we'll get back to you. If you need parts, or if you want some cool merch like this hoodie I'm wearing, you can click on our web store. You can get all our merch, and you can get just about any part you need for your car. So I'll see you next time, and we'll have more S13 content. We're also hard at work at our AE86, so we'll have some of that content too. We'll talk to you later.